The average British family spends between £25,000 and £45,000 on a brand new car. They walk into a dealership, sign a PCP agreement, personal contract purchase. They do not fully understand, drive home, and spend the next 3 years telling everyone it is brilliant. And then, somewhere between year 2 and year 4, just far enough past the warranty buffer that the manufacturer can sleep easy, something breaks. Not something small, something that comes back as a quote for £1,400. Or £2,200 or more. The engine management light, the infotainment system that crashes every time it rains, the 12-volt battery that kills the car on a Tuesday morning outside Morrison's. Here is the part nobody puts on the window sticker. The what car? Reliability survey published in late 2025, based on 32,493 owner responses for cars up to 5 years old, found the most popular new family SUV in the UK had an 81% fault rate. 81%. That is not a rogue batch. That is not an anomaly. That is the product. Sitting on Britain's driveways right now, on finance agreements that will outlast the reliability of the car itself, that is not bad luck. That is the business model. Today, we are blowing the roof off it. Before we dive in, comment where you are watching from and click subscribe. Buying a new car in the UK in 2026 is not the same calculation as buying one in Germany, Japan, or the United States. The UK has specific conditions that make bad cars dramatically worse, and manufacturers know it. First, the weather. British roads are wet for roughly 180 days a year. Salt on roads from November to March attacks brake lines, wheel arches, and underbody coatings. A car built to a price point corrodes faster on a British B road than it ever would in Spain. The rust warranty covers perforation only. Surface rust, the kind that starts in year 3 and looks like cancer by year 6, is your problem. Second, the price. The average new car in the UK now costs £43,020, up from £31,000 just 5 years ago, a 39% increase. In the same period, real wages grew by roughly 8%. You are spending a larger share of your income on a product that is becoming less reliable per pound spent. Third, the service network. Outside the major cities, authorised service centres are thin. Specialist repairs, camera calibrations, electric vehicle battery software updates, and gearboxes requiring proprietary tools mean 6 to 8 week waits in rural England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. The car sits on your driveway. You're still making your PCP payment. The manufacturer's customer service line plays hold music. Fourth, the finance scandal. 80% of new cars in the UK are bought on PCP. The FCA has confirmed a £7.5 billion redress scheme covering 12.1 million agreements from 2007 to 2024 because dealers were secretly inflating your interest rate to earn higher commission. Your monthly payment was not the best rate available. In many cases, it was the highest rate the dealer thought they could get away with. That is not a historical footnote. That is what happened to most people watching this video. Fifth, Brexit parts delays. It does not make the news anymore, but it has not gone away. EU parts now face customs paperwork port delays and up to a 15% price premium over pre-2021 costs. For certain French and Italian brands, waiting 3 weeks for a part that used to arrive in 3 days is now routine. The consumer pays for that wait in hire car costs, missed work and inconvenience the warranty summary never mentions. I want to be transparent about how this ranking was built, because most car reliability content you find online is funded by manufacturers or based on 90-day initial quality surveys that measure whether the Bluetooth pairs correctly, not whether the car is still running at 40,000 miles. This list is built on 4 things. The what car? Reliability Survey 2025, 32,493 owner responses, weighted by fault severity, repair cost, and time off the road. The which? Car Reliability Survey covered 63,334 drivers and 72,470 vehicles. It was conducted April to June 2025, and it took no manufacturer advertising. This is independent, real-world data. Real-world evidence comes from independent UK mechanics, the people who see these cars after the warranty has expired and the manufacturer is no longer involved. And our AC and AA breakdown data shows the cars actually calling for roadside assistance on British roads. No manufacturer paid for placement on this list. A couple of manufacturers would like to have me removed from the internet after this video. That is how you know we are doing it right. To understand what is happening to new cars today, you need to understand what a new car used to be. In the 1990s, a new car had a petrol or diesel engine, a gearbox, and maybe 15 electrical systems in the entire vehicle. Components were engineered to tolerances that any trained mechanic in any town in Britain could understand and fix. The cars were not glamorous, but they lasted. A well-maintained Honda Accord from 1998 would do 200,000 miles without drama. A Toyota Corolla from 2001 is still on the road. That car is gone. Then two things happened simultaneously, and they ruined everything. First, the electronics explosion. Modern cars at the £25,000 price point now contain between 70 and 100 electronic control units, 70 to 100 separate computers, all talking to each other, all dependent on software written under cost and deadline pressure. The complexity per pound spent has increased by a factor of 10. The engineering budget per component has not. Second, the ZEV mandate and the rush to electrify. The UK government requires 28% of new car sales in 2025 to be zero-emission vehicles. Manufacturers who miss it face significant fines. So cars are being electrified on compressed timelines with battery systems that have not had a decade of real-world refinement. The result is plug-in hybrids with cascading 12-volt battery failures, electric SUVs with battery management software that leaves cars undrivable for weeks, and infotainment systems that crash because the processor was spec'd to hit a price point, not to run reliably. Here is the specific failure mechanism costing British drivers the most money right now. The 12-volt auxiliary battery. Modern cars still rely on a separate 12-volt battery to power the electronics and comfort systems. It costs £80 to £300 to replace. Sounds manageable, but when it degrades, it does not simply go flat. It causes cascading faults across multiple systems. Warning lights, error codes that a dealer charges £120 to read, full system resets, chargeable. A £150 part becomes a £400 to £900 dealer visit, and the warranty defines it as a consumable excluded from coverage. That is not a flaw in the system, that is the system. Worst number 1, the Volkswagen Tiguan. Let me say something honest before I explain why it is first on this list. The Tiguan is a well-proportioned family SUV. The interior feels premium at first contact. Volkswagen has spent decades building credibility around German engineering. People trust the badge. What the badge does not mention is that in the 2025 What Car Reliability survey, the current Tiguan has the highest fault rate of any car surveyed. 81% of owners reported a problem. Infotainment accounted for 31% of faults. Brakes accounted for 19%, and non-engine electrics accounted for a further 19%. 41% of faulty cars were off the road for more than a week. One owner described the build quality as nowhere near the level I would have expected from a Volkswagen. Tens of thousands of Tiguans are on PCP agreements right now. If you're in month 18 of a 36-month deal and your car is at the dealer for 10 days, you are still making your payment every single month. The car has no obligation to be on your driveway. The Tiguan looks like the sensible choice. After year 1, it stops feeling sensible entirely. Worst number 2, the Nissan Juke. The Juke is genuinely distinctive. It carved out a niche when every other small SUV looked identical. The latest interior is better than the car has any right to be at its price point. What car named the petrol Juke Britain's least reliable new car in its 2025 survey? Of owners who reported a fault, 60% faced bills of more than £1,500. Only 30% of problems were fixed for free. 64% of faulty cars were off the road for more than a week. Average repair cost was £911, on a car costing between £22,000 and £28,000. In the UK, where weather degrades components faster and rural owners face longer waits, a week without a car means missed work. This is not an inconvenience. This is a financial attack on people who bought what they were told was a dependable family car. A Nissan spokesperson said the result differs from our customer data. Their customer data is not the 32,000 independent owners who told What Car the truth. Worst number 3, the MG range. MG made electric vehicles accessible at a price point established manufacturers refused to hit. The MG4 under £25,000 was genuinely disruptive, but MG finished last in the What Car brand reliability rankings for the second consecutive year. Its 2025 score of 88.9% is still the worst of any manufacturer surveyed. MG4 owners faced large repair bills at a disproportionate rate. Repair times were slow, and resale values have collapsed. The car you bought for £25,000 may be worth £12,000 to £14,000 in 3 years. MG sources components from China. Post-Brexit, logistics mean that when something goes wrong, waiting is often the only answer. Buy the MG4 for the price, just know what you're actually buying. Worst number 4, the Land Rover Discovery Sport. The Discovery Sport starts at around £40,000. The marketing leans hard into adventure and British character. What the brochure does not contain, the Honest John Satisfaction Index 2025 put the Discovery Sport third, worst of all models surveyed at 82.22%. Land Rover has spent years in the bottom half of every major reliability table. Land Rover requires proprietary diagnostic equipment that independent mechanics cannot access. Every electronic fault routes back through a Land Rover franchise dealer, charging from £180 to £220 per hour. A software diagnostic alone costs £150 before any repair work begins. You are paying premium prices for below-average reliability and above-average repair costs. That is not a premium product. That is a premium price tag on an average engineering outcome. Worst number 5, the Ford Kuga plug-in hybrid. The standard Kuga is a reasonable car. The plug-in hybrid version is a different story. Ford dropped from mid-table to 6th from bottom in the 2025 What Car survey, driven largely by Kuga plug-in hybrid owners reporting high fault volumes tied to the 12-volt auxiliary battery and the PHEV system. Plug-in hybrids stack 3 distinct electrical architectures on top of each other: the combustion engine, the electric motor with its own battery management, and a 12-volt auxiliary system. When they do not talk to each other flawlessly, the fault codes multiply. The Kuga plug-in hybrid looks perfect on paper: low company car tax, low official emissions, and then teaches you the difference between official figures and lived experience. Before we get to the best cars, I want to ask you something directly. Drop a comment right now. What are you driving and what broke first? My guess is most of you will say something electrical, something simple, a screen, a sensor, a battery warning at 34,000 miles. And I am going to guess a significant number of you will say it happened just outside the warranty period. Not 10 years later, just outside month 38 of a 36-month deal. That is not a coincidence. That is engineering. Best number 1, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Nobody buys a RAV4 because it makes their heart race. It is not the most handsome car in any car park. It will not win on first impression in a showroom. Here is what it does instead. Toyota's 5th generation hybrid system has been refined across 25 years of real-world production. Self-charging, no plug required, no range anxiety, no charging infrastructure dependency. Toyota's hybrid batteries carry an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Independent mechanics will tell you they almost never see them for drivetrain work. The car just runs. The honest weakness is that it starts at around £39,000 and the interior is functional rather than luxurious. But if you value a car that does not become your financial adversary, it is worth every penny. Best number 2, the Honda Jazz. Honda topped the What Car brand reliability table in 2025 with a score of 96.6%. The Jazz Hybrid drove much of that result. Honda's eHEV system runs primarily as an electric vehicle at low speeds, with the petrol engine acting as a generator. There is no conventional automatic gearbox, and almost nothing to fail. Independent mechanics describe its fault rate as almost nothing. It returns 55 to 65 miles per gallon in real-world UK urban driving. The honest weakness is that it is a small car and it will feel limiting for a family of 4. but as a commuter car or as a primary vehicle for a smaller household, it is one of the most financially rational things you can buy in Britain right now. Best number 3, the Mazda CX-5. Mazda does not get the credit it deserves. The CX-5 competes directly with the Tiguan and Qashqai. It is priced similarly, but its reliability record is in a completely different league. The Honest John's Satisfaction Index 2025 put the CX-5 at 95.2%, placing it in the top tier of all cars surveyed. Mazda's Sky Active philosophy means Mazda refused to add complexity for complexity's sake. It uses conventional, well-refined petrol and diesel engines that any independent mechanic in Britain can access and repair. It also depreciates by 30 to 35% over 3 years, significantly better than the Tiguan or MG. The main weakness is no plug-in hybrid option, and the dealer network is thinner in rural areas. But on total cost of ownership, the Mazda wins. Best number 4, the Skoda Octavia. Skoda shares Volkswagen Group engineering, but it prices its cars without the badge premium, meaning more of your money goes into the car and less into the marketing, giving you more value. A new Octavia starts at around £28,000, with one of the largest boots in its class at 600 litres. Crucially, while the Golf and Tiguan have been hammered in recent reliability surveys, the Octavia has not suffered the same infotainment and software failures. Independent mechanics describe it as predictable in the right way. The honest weakness is the VRS plug-in hybrid. Its drivetrain complexity undoes the reliability advantage, so avoid it. Stick to the 1.5 TSI petrol and you have a very good car. Best number 5, the Suzuki Vitara Hybrid, a dependable compact SUV. Suzuki finished third in the What Car brand reliability rankings for 2025 with a score of 95.7%. The Vitara starts at around £23,000. It is not a premium car and it makes no claim to be. What it is, a compact SUV with a reliability record that embarrasses rivals costing £10,000 more. Its mild hybrid system is simple, almost nothing to go wrong. Its size suits British roads and car parks better than the bloated SUVs dominating the market. It will not be the most exciting item in your household, but it will start every time you ask it to, in every month of every year you own it. That right now is rarer than it should be. 3 rules, write them down. Rule 1, check the What Car. Reliability survey before you step inside a showroom, not after you have test driven it. Before, search the specific model, not just the brand. The Tiguan and Octavia share engineering heritage. The Tiguan is near the bottom of the chart. The Octavia sits comfortably above average. Model matters, not the badge. Rule 2. Ask the finance question they do not want you to ask. Sit down with the finance manager and ask directly, what commission does the dealership receive from the finance company? And is it linked to my interest rate? They are now legally required to answer. If they hesitate, arrange finance independently through a bank or broker, often at a lower rate. The FCA's £7.5 billion redress scheme exists because this conversation was not happening for 15 years. Start having it. Rule 3. Calculate the total cost of ownership, not the monthly payment. The monthly payment is the trap. Multiply it by 36, add the balloon payment, add servicing and tyres, subtract likely resale value. That number is what the car actually costs you. Nobody puts it on the window sticker. Here is the maths. Option 1, a new Volkswagen Tiguan priced at £40,000 on PCP. Monthly payments over 36 months total, around £18,000. The balloon payment is around £18,500. At the end of 3 years, the car is worth roughly £20,000. You have spent £36,500 in payments. You have owned a car with an 81% fault rate in the largest independent UK owner survey. Option 2, a 3-year-old Toyota RAV4 hybrid, 25,000 miles, full service history, for £27,000 on hire purchase. Over the next 3 years, the RAV4 reliability record suggests minimal unplanned costs. At 75,000 miles, it is worth £16,000 to £20,000. Total spend over 3 years is around £33,000 to £36,000 for a car with a 25-year documented reliability record. The numbers are similar. The experience is not. The monthly payment is not the cost of the vehicle. The monthly payment plus repair bills plus depreciation plus the interest you were charged without your knowledge, that is the cost of the vehicle. Nobody puts that number on the window sticker. The new car market in the UK has a structural problem. Manufacturers are building increasingly complex vehicles on compressed timelines with engineering budgets that have not kept pace. They are selling them on finance structures that for 15 years extracted more money from buyers than they knew they were paying, and they are protecting themselves with warranties carefully drafted to exclude the exact things that go wrong. That is not bad luck. That is the business model. The brands at the bottom of every reliability survey, MG, Nissan, Land Rover, Fiat, are the ones with the biggest marketing budgets and the most prominent forecourt positions. The brands at the top, Honda, Suzuki, Toyota, Mazda, are consistently undersold because they do not need expensive dealer visits to compensate for unreliable products. The industry is counting on you to trust the badge, to walk in, sit in the nice seat, sign the agreement, and not ask the questions that would change the outcome. Do not be passive about it. Be informed about it. If this video saved you from a £25,000 mistake, subscribe now and share it with anyone about to walk into a dealership. That is all.